Somebody needs to know that they need to step back sometimes from their own feelings and give space to somebody else. There is a guy somewhere out there who needs to know that sometimes there is guy time and sometimes there is female time. And if they're partners, they need to give space to each other, at least once in a while. And sometimes the guy needs to know that he needs to acknowledge the feelings of his partner. He should acknowledge that sometimes she might feel down. And everything is not all about him. I'm going to be blunt and ask you to step back and just consider how she is feeling sometimes. Yes, you're busy. Yes, you're doing stuff. You feel like you might not have time sometimes to just sit and relax, but sometimes you need to relax. This is a couple. From outside, in the public, they look perfect. Physically, they look perfect. And maybe even character-wise or personality-wise, they look perfect, but they have issues emotionally. And they're drifting apart emotionally from each other. And they love each other. They love each other, but they're drifting apart. And it's all because the guy is not present to the lady who he loves. He needs to be present for her just as much as she's present for him. Dear male person, it's not like you're bad in any way. It's just that your spouse is thinking that you're not being fair when it comes to emotion. Sometimes she just needs you to hug her and let go of anything to do with it's all about yourself. It's not about you. Everything is not all about you sometimes. And she loves you, you love her, but she only needs you to hug her sometimes. Because that's just how women are. Women are like waves. Sometimes they're up, sometimes they're down. I was taken aback because I was looking at the guy and it was like, it seemed like he was so oblivious to her feelings and emotions. If you were to judge him, you would think he was somebody cold and haughty and putting up a grandiose. But that was not the case because he was a very sensitive person. Somebody is a music teacher and he teaches blind people music. I'm seeing a flute, the Turkish long flute ney. He's loving and compassionate towards his students, but he's not showing the something to his spouse. And then I realized that he's considering that his students are blind, so they can't see his side effects, his setbacks, but his wife or girlfriend or whoever she is, just because she's not blind, he's feeling like she might be seeing his complexes. So in order to hide those complexes, he's just wearing a mask towards her. And that's spoiling everything. He needs to be vulnerable towards her. He needs to open up to her. He needs to understand that she would be there for him no matter what. And she accepts his negatives and positives. All the way. That she would love him in any way because she chose to love him. I have no intention of prying into anyone's business, but I'm just guided to put this out for somebody out there to understand this and to understand that it's not like the lady is running away from him in any way, or she's avoiding him in any way. It's just that she wants him to be present for her emotionally, just as how he's there for her physically. And everything is not just sexual attraction. Sometimes there is something called emotional need, and you need to give that to your partner just as how much you need it yourself. Being present is something that can only be felt by two people when they're together. When their hearts are drifting apart, that's when problems start and they start quarreling with each other. But when their hearts feel warm towards each other, they are brought closer towards each other. And that's what's causing the mutual connection between two people. Because if one person feels like they're not heard emotionally by their partner, they start drifting apart in their heart. And that's when you see people screaming at each other because they are not feel heard. But once they feel heard by the other person, it's easy to create a mutual relationship between two people. And that's the kind of problem I had with my ex-husband, because he was too busy wearing a mask to cover up his own complexes instead of sharing what he had. And that drifted us apart. And I guess because he was stubborn enough not to want to change this, that caused a separation. Because not just one person can compromise. Two people need to compromise in order for a relationship to go on. It's not about what will I get in it, what am I getting from it. It's how two people work together as a team in order to make something work out. Compromising means both two people need to compromise to each other in a vulnerable way, in a more authentic way, in a more open way, and to share out their fears, their doubts, and not feel like they will be judged. They should feel comfortable enough to portray out to the other partner how they feel in order for the relationship to work out. I don't know what this is, just that I'm guided to know that I'm supposed to consult these two people, to know that they have to work on their shadow work. They have to work on themselves. They have to work on being vulnerable and authentic towards each other, not just to expect the other person to read their minds. No one can read another person's mind unless you openly phrase it out as what you need and what you don't want, what you want. people need to tell each other what they need from each other. And you need to give each other space sometimes, because this guy is loving and compassionate towards his students, because he feels like he doesn't need to wear a mask with them, but for his spouse, he's thinking that he needs to wear a mask to protect himself from being hurt. If he's found to be vulnerable in anything, maybe that's concerning to do with his childhood traumas or something like that. Because to be able to be a music teacher and for the disabled, that's something really great, and that's a big success. If he can succeed to be that way, he can easily succeed to have a good relationship with anyone else. And he should show who he really is to the people he loves, and not hide from the people he loves. He should not be afraid that anyone will judge him for who he is. He should embrace who he is. Because of the mask he's putting on, the lady is dying a small death each and every day and drifting apart. Despite that, they have love between each other. We need to encourage each other to be open towards each other. If we are going to have a good relationship. If we are not open with each other, we'll end up being just like, again, I'm reminded of Britney Spears' song, Sometimes I Run. Sometimes I run, sometimes I'm scared of you. But all I really want to do is hold you tight. And then there are so many misconceptions and misunderstandings just because people are not open with each other. The lady was not being open with him. He was not being open with her. It was a tug of war. No, you come to me. 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 What is it that I can get? What is it that I can get? And they're just ruining their relationship because of wearing masks. In relationships, especially when it's concerning two people who love each other, especially in marriage, masks should not be worn. You need to put down your mask. You can do that with your enemies, but not with people who genuinely love you. Yeah, that's what I'm guided to put out right now. I'm not really understanding what these could be, but I'm learning. It's helping me understand myself and other people as well. So I hope this helps somebody. This could be specific to somebody, and they need to know that they have to change their ways if they want to go on with a good relationship with the person they love. They have to put down their masks. So, okay, till next time, take care. God bless.